Grand Rising, coming to you at 0800 hours, 46 minutes. This is, I want to say Friday. Yes, Friday, September 27th, 2019, the year that we in. Grand Rising. I hope you had a great rest. I hope you slept well. I hope you're ready to start this day. And then if you already started the day, thankfully that you started the day. Where did my paper just go? Okay. Yesterday, I did Sexuality, Principle, Part 1. I wanted to name it Chapter 1, but I didn't want people to think that I was going to keep talking about this over and over. And another one I want to touch on in sexuality is sexting. Not sexting, sexting. What was the earliest age you have sex? What is the early age you think you should have sex? And now that you have sex, what are some information you wish you had known before you had sex? Whatever it is. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Here to guide and challenge. And you know what guy means to just be a light. A guy can be a leader. A guy can be a follower. The follower in terms that we're seeking, we don't want to be called followers because of what people have said. This is crazy to me. We can't do nothing no more because what somebody else said. If one person heard it, another person admires them. Oh, I'm not going to do it because they do this. I'm not going to do this. You have no clue if that's even for you yet. I can't do something that... I'm an African Descendant American man. I can't do what another African Descendant American man does. I can't do that. That's not part of me. Only can do what's for me. So that's why sexuality, a principle. If you think about sexuality, no other man can tell me how much I should and shouldn't have sex. No other man tell me when I should or should have sex. Now, if another man challenging me on why, come on, that's more open. But I'm not saying this is the thing about sex. There is no rules. See, this ruse, it's a ruse. R-U-E-L, not R-U-L-E. A ruse. I call it the hashtag still curtain over your eye. Remember the woman get married. She's supposed to have the veil over her. And so she got to be a virgin. She got to do this. But what if all these things, see, if she's going to be married then, she has to be born into a married household for her to have her veil. Because that means the iniquities her parents has expelled them. That's why marriage is important before sex. If you want your child to not have all these sexual iniquities upon them, you have to do all the work now. If you're not doing the work now, I'm literally doing all the work. If I don't want my child to be poor, but poor is not a look. It's a mindset. It's a mentality. I'm going to do everything to make sure. So I'm talking about sexuality. I don't want my child to have sexual iniquities. Those are sins. Sins mean, the true meaning of sin are curses. What comes with a curse? Spells, hypnosis, trances. That's why I say, if the echo chamber, hashtag echo chamber, if I repeat something, one young man attached to me, that's one young man that's about to go spread everything I just repeated to him. Instead of saying, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm gonna have a son, my son and my daughter. I'm gonna say not have sex. I'm gonna ask them, why do you want to have sex? Why do you want to have sex? And because if you never had sex, and then you remember your first time you never had sex, why did you want to have sex? You don't have the same feelings now after you had sex. Think about it. Oh, now your first time you wanted to have sex, you didn't really want to have sex. It was just the idea of it. I don't care if you've seen it before. That didn't make me, when I first seen my first porn, that didn't make me want to have sex, because I actually thought it was disgusting. And it was a porn. That's why people say, well, my first time watching porn, the first time I watched porn didn't make me want to have sex. I didn't even know what the man was doing. I'm looking at the woman. I was about 12. My cousin sprung down the porn. He's like, look at this. And his father is asleep right there. Also, we young men, we don't care. He got mad at us. And he told my mother, and he couldn't get us mad. Not because we was men, or because we didn't doing nothing. We was watching the tape that he had. He left it out. His son didn't have to go. He literally just went, here go the tape, and he brought it down. I don't know why we were watching in front of him. He turned the TV down, and he was asleep. I don't know, but that was the curiosity of us, our young men. He just look at all the things we now think about sex. Think about all the things we do. Now let's get back into the topic of sexuality, pleasure principles. We talked about what we did to have the what's the word I wrote? The principles of sex. What were the principles of sex? Intimacy, bond, togetherness. But first we created through relationships. We got to go out. I challenged you with the question about the woman. What are some things you can do if you can't have sex? What are some things you can do that you can't have sex? Especially if you're in a relationship or marriage, it's pretty much harder. It's pretty much harder if I'm bonding with a woman and I'm together with her and there's intimacy. Now, after being an adult, now I'm not a child. Now I'm not 13 anymore. By 23, 24, now we get to the mode. Now, this is a time where hormones do change drastically. Think about, in the most times I did research, or I survey a lot of women. A lot of women start having sex before the age of 10. And it's not even it's sex because they stimulate themselves. Some by accident, some was before, and a good amount was by themselves. It was something that they did. Like, wow, this feels different. Maybe it's a little different when you're in a sexual environment. So if you build that up to your child, a sexual environment, that's almost, can't say damaging, but that's kind of warping and speeding up the process of having sex. The more sexual environment you are in, again, versus a non-loving environment, you're going to speed up the sex process. And remember, you have the 3 children. The first child felt everything you did, especially we are having children at a younger age, and then the second child gonna okay, maybe not. The third child, I didn't go through that. Y'all all went through that. That third child was not going through everything you experienced. But if you recreate it, I know, lady, I thought that was gonna be the case for her. She back in recreating what she had for the first 3 daughters she had. Now she has 2 sons. She about to recreate that same environment. She didn't break the iniquity. She didn't, because it was about her persuasion and her perversion. Now, what are some pleasure principles we do that's not part of us? That's not with another person. So they created sex toys. That's the perversion of sex now. Sex toys. And we've done oral. You see, you wouldn't think I was about to write oral. You didn't think I was going to bring up the terms of oral. Oral is dangerous to us. Because what oral does and what sex toys does, it take away the actual the stimulation. So my manness, go inside of a woman and I've been doing all those other things, it's not the same. And let's say you have the intimacy. Now with the intimacy of everything, oral, the toys, and everything, we're throwing away everything else. So we can get that pleasure. That's your pleasure principle. In 2019, if you survey men and women now, you can see that women always say, oh, man, want to talk about sex, this and that. You can see that sex was on their mind. They was hiding it. But I always told women, and I'm happy my mother wasn't out there. I say, even men, it's men and women out there that's not promiscuous, that really haven't been with that many people. They're single. They've probably been single for a long time. Some have not been single for a long time. But I'm not out there doing all this, and I'm not trying to. People say, oh, well, no, you're not in a relationship, this, and that, women, this, and that. I can talk my mess, but I'm not going to lie. Just as for women, it's easy to get men. Just as for men, I don't have to pay 1 cent to get with. Now, this is the count of what women do I want. Now, the woman I want, she can be of any class. I don't know her. I see her. I don't know anything. When I talk to her, I don't know her. I'm the stature of that woman. And I remember a young girl, I was talking, she said something to me. I don't think she meant to say it, but she said it to me, but I could tell it was more of a mental statement. She was saying, why don't the guys don't talk this and that? I said, look at her. She said, okay. I said, what do you see? And she was describing her. I was like, that's not, I said, now what do you really see? And she said some words. I said, you know why these guys don't approach her as they approach you? She don't leave herself opened up to that. And I said, this one right here, I said, she's not mean. She's not rude. She don't leave herself open for certain type of guys she don't want talking to her. I said, she over here don't leave me open to her. But her over here, she leave me open to her. She's saying, well, he's a type of guy I would want to be. It was funny because the one that was closing me off didn't really have a lot of substance. And the one that was opening me up had a lot of substance because her persona, her aura, her being of who she are is totally different. Again, that's one of the big things I keep talking about. I keep expressing. We all are different. I can't tell a young man about his sexuality. All I can do is ask him some things that get him in that mindset of what is sexuality. What is it? What is it to you? Don't describe it nowhere else. I want to know what is it for you. Because if you know for you, then if it's through your religion, it's through your beliefs, it's through your structure, your family, how your mother and father, you can understand. It's so many multiple totally paths and routes and roads about sex. It's not one path. And see, that's the mistake, the mistake of sex. We think it's going to be one route for every one person. No, it can't be one route. I'm 6'5". I give off a different persona. I have a different personality. My sexual indication of what a woman's going to give to me is going to be different. But at the end of the day, when you go from sex to love is different. So we doing everything to create perversion. Now we got these toys. A woman says she spent $22,000 on a room of sex toys. You think any man, see, people say, well, real man. No, this is what she's doing. I don't care unless he's literally the creator and come down and touch her and reverse the process, she has lost stimulation for me. So when I see a lot of gay women, I say you lost stimulation for a man. Bisexual women, they're getting there. But gay men, you lost stimulation for a woman. You didn't lose that. We think gay is like, oh, you born this way or something. No. Like,